Hey Internet, what's going on? It's Judas Iscariot here, coming to give you my review for Batman Arkham Knight. In advance, I apologize for the fucking abhorrent quality of this video. I figured out a way to splice in the gameplay clips into this particular video, back and forth, but it's real shit. And like I said, my first video, it's a learning process. I've got a lot to learn. I'm learning now that if I want to do this legitimately and properly, it's going to take a tremendous amount of time. And so we'll see. We'll see what's going on. But I'm sorry that this video stinks, but here's my review. I'm not the kind of guy, I hate spoilers. I hate them. I don't like spoilers. I don't like people to tell me anything about a game. Generally speaking, if I look at a review for a game before it comes out, I just check the score and maybe the cliff notes, the quick pros and cons. That's all I really need to know up front. Anything other than that is a spoiler for me. I don't want to know it. So I think my reviews, for the most part, are gonna be about the same level, about the same spoiler-free as possible. Right up front, I'll tell you, if you just want the cliff notes, Batman Arkham Knight, great game, really good game, very, very good. If you're a fan of the Arkham series, pick it up. If you're not a fan of the Arkham series, don't pick it up. If you're like me and you really enjoyed Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, but after Arkham Origins you kind of felt, you know what, I think I'm done with this franchise, I don't need to play it anymore, pick it up. I got it. I don't regret it at all. It is more of the same, but it's fantastic. It's top notch. All right, on to the graphics. The graphics are very pretty. You know, you got Gotham City at night. It's lit up, it's beautiful, but it's raining. And then everything's slick and wet and soaked with rain, and that looks so good. And especially, like, you know, you look at the neon lights and the lighting of all the buildings, and you see the rain falling, and the light from the buildings illuminates the rain around it in that color. It's beautiful, very nice. And also, you know, the bat suit and the characters, their textures, i.e. especially like their suit and clothing textures, and the water beads and rolls off of their suits realistically. It's very, very attractive. There was a couple visual hiccups I found here or there. Specifically, there was one time where it was raining indoors, and I really wish I had captured that, because it was beautiful. It was raining indoors, and all of the textures inside this indoor environment were wet, and they had water beating and rolling off of them. It was very cool. I really should have caught it.
I hear there's some nutcase going around, nailing people to walls.
There was also a couple clipping issues here and there, specifically with the cape cloak, his bat cape, bat wings, wing cloak cape wings, his bat wing cape cloak wings. The Arkham games have always offered, hands down, the best third-person action combat of any game, and Arkham Knight is no exception. Generally speaking, they just kind of modify or tweak small things here and there, and Arkham Knight is no different in that respect either. So it is largely, by and large, the same combat that you know and love, but at the same time, it's still great combat, right? So how can you really complain? It's really difficult to improve upon perfection, right? You know, it's still easy to learn, difficult to, I don't want to say difficult to master, but it's difficult to string together those perfect combos, and, you know, incorporate all of your gadgets and shit. It's real cool in that respect. I have a lot of fun with it. one of the new tweaks added to the combat, and it's only in certain segments of the game that needs to be said, but you can fight alongside allies. And visually, it's really cool. Functionally, it's very fun. It's immediately accessible and immediately understandable to anybody who's familiar with Arkham's control scheme. It's very cool. However, it doesn't really add a new mechanic or a new feel to it. It looks neat, and it's just as fun as when you're fighting by yourself, but at the same time, you can hardly call it, a fresh new take or a very innovative mechanic. You're basically pushing one button every now and again to do a cooperative takedown, and then you switch to the other character, and the other character's controls are virtually identical. It is cool to watch, though, and it is fun.
Simulation activated.
Make sure you keep up, Batman. Here comes the pain. Hey, buddy. This is gonna hurt. I'll try not to make you look too bad. Ready?
Simulation complete.
Arkham Knight. Arkham Knight introduces the Batmobile for the first time in the Arkham series. Well, for the first time as a playable vehicle. You have two options right on the fly. You have car mode, which is what you'd imagine it to be, and then you have tank mode, which basically transforms the Batmobile into a battle tank, and it kind of handles like a 3D twin stick tank shooter, which is okay. Riding around the Batmobile isn't quite as fun as I wanted it to be. It's certainly not bad. It certainly gets the job done, but it's not great. It feels good enough. It's very good.
Good evening, Mr. Wayne. I hope the car's performing to your high expectations.
Actually, Lucius, she's a little sluggish.
It's easy enough to get from one place to another with minimal frustration, but you're not going to be asking for a Batman racing game anytime soon. Anytime you try to do anything, anytime you need to do anything precise that requires real tight precision, you're gonna get frustrated. So, for example, like if you're doing a time trial and you need to take just this corner at just this speed and just the right way, the physics seem a little wonky, not quite as responsive as you'd like them to be, and the collision detection and the collision physics are especially shitty. Like sometimes you'll hit a vehicle head on and there's basically no change to your trajectory or speed. Sometimes you hit that same vehicle head on and you do a 180 spin and you're into a wall. Like it's really unreliable. It's really unpredictable. And so when you're doing something that requires precision, like time trials, it's really frustrating when you do something the exact same way 2 times and get 2 completely different results. It makes some of the time trials feel like they require just a bit too much luck and not enough skill. The story's good. like I said, I don't want to spoil anything for you, but the story, if you're a fan of Batman, is very good. I was very, very impressed with it, very pleased with it, had a good time with it. I don't want to tell you more. I don't want to tell you the setting. I don't want to tell you who the characters are. I don't want to spoil anything for you. You know who Batman is. I don't need to tell you. If you like Batman, you'll like the story. That's all you need to know. I don't need to go into details.
Ready one. Emptied your city with a vial of toxin and a few threatening words. That's how little the safety you provided was worth. And when the dawn comes, when Gotham lies in ruin and I turn my gaze to the world beyond, the legend of the Batman will be worth nothing at all.
Now, it's an open world game, and so it's full of open world activities and stuff for you to do. Most of them are very well done, fun, entertaining, challenging, difficulty's just right. I really liked it a lot. Again, I don't want to spoil too much about what you do, but I mean, you're the world's greatest detective, and you're a fucking kung fu master, and you got a fucking rocket car tank. So you use those things. That's what you do as far as completing your objective. It's fun. Solve crimes, fight criminals.
Alfred, I found a mutilated body, but this isn't the one Cash told me about. I'm going to try and establish a cause of death. Blood tests reveal the cause of death was an overdose of painkillers leading to cardiac arrest. Also, the victim's fingerprints have been burned off with acid.
A rather unsavory demise.
That's not all. It's as though the subject's DNA has been corrupted somehow. There's insufficient information for me to cross-reference the database. I'll have to use the deep tissue scanner to analyze the body for distinguishing features and determine the victim's identity.
Right you are, sir.
Remnants of a pacemaker fitted through the right ventricle. If I cross-reference the manufacturer with the pacing method, it will help to narrow the search.
Now, I'm a fan of Batman's combat. I'm a big fan of the combat. But the challenge maps that you do when you're finished playing Batman, basically, that were in Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, they're fun. Don't get me wrong, but to me it felt like too much. Like there was just way too much, especially after Arkham Asylum. Like Arkham Asylum, that combat and the stealth elements felt really fresh and new to me. But then once you get into Arkham City and then Arkham Origins and now Arkham Knight, like I don't want to fucking do that all the time. Fortunately, with Arkham Knight, they've got a massive variety of challenges for you to tackle. Racing challenges, combat challenges, stealth challenges, racing combat challenges. And it feels a lot more varied, and there's not as many of each. There's not like 20 of each. There's I mean, by and large, guys, that's really it. I mean, Batman Arkham Knight is a great game, but it's also the same game, you know? But it's also a great game. Anyways, that's it. I apologize again for this fucking atrocious quality of this review and this video. I did make some notes, and I feel I did a little better, but I still got a lot of work to do. You know, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. Let me know what you think. You know, my desire to continue doing this is going to be fueled by your desire to continue seeing this. So, yeah. Have a great day, guys. Let me know what you think. Take care.
He ain't catching us! What the? It's a bat! He's tailing us! Put your foot down! Go!
Hello! Hello, Internet. Judas is back. Judas here. Oh, fuck, man. I hate doing these videos. I really don't like them. Batman, Arkham Knight came out. It's pretty good, I guess. No. Fucking hell. Fucking